What's going on, Jabroners? It's your boy Jabroni Crayon here, and in this week's video, I'm going to be chatting about Back for Blood, a game me, Jabroni, Sully, and one of our buddies, Jipu, just wrapped up last night. It took us 25 hours to beat on Veteran. It was a really challenging game, but overall, very fun experience, honestly. But that's not to say that it didn't have a couple caveats and things about the game that by the end we were getting really sick of, and we're going to be breaking down in this video, so stay tuned. So firstly, if you aren't already, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. We're a really small channel. We're trying to grow. We occasionally drop videos on this channel. And, if you guys like this kind of content where we review games and we chat about stuff, I have stuff on Darkest Dungeon 2, the current Siege season. We got 7 Days to Die Alpha 20 dropping soon. Lots of stuff I could be chatting about on here. So if you appreciate that, be sure to subscribe and stick around. Okay, so firstly, what are the pros of this game? I'm going to start by saying the thing that kind of hit us, as a curveball when we first started was how challenging this game is. It's mostly fair, definitely in the cons. I'll talk about some unfair challenges in the game, but the game is not easy on Veteran. It's a challenge, and you really got to coordinate with your team. If you're playing solo, which I do not recommend when Back for Blood, there's no player progression. Now, I'll save that for cons, but overall, with friends, it's a challenging and fun experience, okay? Another upside of it is it's 2021, so the graphics and the visuals of the game are really great, and it feels like a much more updated Left 4 Dead. I'm going to be referencing it a lot and comparing it a lot to Left 4 Dead because, let's be real, Turtle Rock made Left 4 Dead the original. This game is clearly a successor in many ways. It tries to differentiate itself, and in some ways succeeds, and in some ways it fails. Alright, and so right now the succeed is going to be the visuals, the sounds, the overall look of zombies, and just killing them feels really good in this game. Okay, it's very satisfying gameplay. The gunplay is also great. It feels good to shoot your gun, to reload it. It feels very snappy and smooth, especially compared to Left 4 Dead. It's definitely leaps and bounds ahead of that on a technical level. In addition to that, weapons are really customizable, and there's many different ways to play Back for Blood. You'll constantly be scavenging for various attachments for your weapons that do alter the way a gun feels and plays. You could throw an ACOG scope on a Desert Eagle, or you could turn a shotgun into a sniper rifle in a lot of ways. And this is compounded by the card system within the game. That is honestly, to me, the one system, if I had to defend and respect one thing that this game does that's different from Left 4 Dead, it is the card system. The card system is so fucking good in Back for Blood for the players. Now, admittedly, it starts out pretty lame. The cards are really weak. It takes a long time to get to those fun, unlockable cards. By the end of the game is really when you start to feel these cool decks get formed, which is a shame. It's a big shame. But the card system is really fun. And once you do have a build, you have a melee build, or you have a shotgun build, or a sniper build, you're really good at killing specials, you're really good at dealing with the horde, and you each have your own kind of role in the team. That's amazing. Like, the game nails it there and really differentiates itself. And this is also true for the corruption side. The corruption system I have my cons with, and I'll get into that in just a moment, but some of the corruption does genuinely switch up the levels and the way that they play out. In some levels that are gloom, the entire map will be in nighttime, and then sometimes the entire map will be in the day, and sometimes it'll be foggy. And this does completely change the feel and the way that a level plays out, and it makes it a lot more challenging in really interesting ways. And so some of the corruption cards are fucking awesome, right? Volatile zombies that explode, just switches up the gameplay, definitely helps replayability, and something I appreciate. Definitely gives it a roguelike feel, which is a plus. I think a game like this does well to incorporate a lot of roguelike ideas. So that is mostly where my pros for the game are going to stop. All right. I think Act 1, they nailed the level design. But beyond Act 1, beyond the beta levels, the game definitely starts to get really repetitive. Okay. They start to really repeat and rinse and repeat. Start this to summon the horde. Bring down this bridge, summons the horde. You know what I mean? Like, it's destroy this nest, the horde will come. And it's like, I understand Left 4 Dead levels weren't that, unique, but at least the settings were extremely different, and the way that you navigated through the levels was very different. levels really start to blend together. You start going back to similar locations in some levels. You know, you go to Fort Hope like 3 or 4 times throughout the game. Um, so that's something I don't really enjoy too much. But overall, I think that post Act 1, the game gets repetitive. And that's something that they have to, you know, flesh out more in DLC. Please give us more map variety, because the zombie variety is there. There's tons of different special infected, but map variety and level variety starts to get lackluster. Okay. Next con about the game is that the characters are just simply not Left 4 Dead characters. They're not as memorable. They're very cringy and tropey at times. They're just not funny at all. Evangelo is like the most annoying character on the planet. It's just like really 2021, like trying to pander and just, it's just not. It just doesn't hit the mark. The Left 4 Dead characters were so fucking funny. They were so like original, and they played into tropes too. Don't get me wrong. You had the business guy, you had the redneck, but like they just hit it all on the head. And I feel like in this game, it's really kind of, I don't know how to say it, but it's just not it. So whatever they did with the characters in this game, they're really cringy. Honestly, if I could turn off the dialogue, I would. You probably can. I recommend it. And another con I have with the game is that while I did mention the game is challenging in a lot of good ways, it does have a lot of unfair corruption cards, in my opinion. Especially when these cards combo together, it makes veteran difficulty that much more difficult. We beat the game, okay, we did it. It took a long time, but we did do it. But some corruption card combos, when we would get them, we would literally consider just restarting a level or a run. Because like, first off, the hag is straight up just unkillable at times. I mean, maybe I can put some footage on the screen, but we have footage of us fighting a hag on veteran, and so many times we pump her full of bullets, all of us, grenades, everything. Don't kill her. She runs away, and it's like, what is that? There's some corruption cards that combo with one another too that make levels literally unbearable. Like, you leave the safe room, and you're just getting hit by sleepers. There's unavoidable sleeper zombies hitting you, triggering hordes. There's a lot of unavoidable hordes that start to happen later on in the game. There's just times where, like, to me, and maybe this is a difference of philosophy, but I feel like if you're going to have all these horde trigger systems, there should, in theory, be a way to navigate through a level without triggering any. Like, best case scenario, it's really hard to do, but you can pull it off. And I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like there are definitely times where you're going to have to hit these birds. You're going to have to hit. The snitch spawns next to you sometimes, and he triggers a horde. How am I supposed to avoid that snitch if he's literally spawning next to me? And he's moving toward me. What? There was a lot of times throughout our playthrough where it felt really unfair, and it was like, how could we have avoided this? Like, how could we not have wiped here? I don't know. So I feel like while the game is challenging in a lot of good ways, it's definitely challenging in not so good ways as well. And lastly, there's no audio cue for the special effects. This is a minor thing, but in Left 4 Dead, you could audibly tell hunters nearby, smokers nearby, boomers nearby. That's not the case here. There's no music attached to that, besides the hag, who has really, really loud music. I don't know what's up with the audio for that fucking enemy. They gotta fix that shit, because the hag music just, you're not even near it, and it's like a violin, piano shit screeching into your eardrum. It's like, this is not. Not to mention the hag roams, and if the hag sees you, just runs at you. It's not like the witch. The witch is a way more controllable threat, way more fair. I think the hag is a cool ass enemy concept, but they don't execute it that well. And so yeah, to summarize, things get repetitive after Act 1. A lot of unfair and unforgiving corruption card combos they need to fix, honestly. Some of them just shouldn't be together, because it literally, like, some corruption combos are not that bad, and it's like a breeze, and then you're playing on the same difficulty. You'll do the same level, but because of a corruption combo, this level's, like, almost unbeatable. Like, you have to be fucking perfect, or it's just not, you're not going to beat it. So, I don't know. Maybe they should have, like, a ranking system to corruption, and if you reach a certain amount, you know, they're not going to pair the worst corruption in the game together, but, like, a high corruption can go with low corruptions. I don't know. That's up to the devs to figure out. Overall, it was a fun experience. Should you buy it? I don't know if it's worth $60 right now, honestly. Definitely worth it in a sale, especially if you like Left 4 Dead. And the game has no versus mode, and that is something that I think really hurts replayability. If there was versus mode, there'd be reason to go back and PvP and earn more cards and, you know, beat players, because that was really fun in Left 4 Dead, and that's honestly a major loss for this game. I don't know why. They literally have a PvP game mode that takes place on campaign levels, but it's not versus, and it's not good. So at that point, just do versus. I don't get it. So the game needs versus. Overall, though, fun experience with friends. You need to be playing this with friends. It is not a solo experience. It's not fun to play with randoms. If you have a squad of guys you'd like to Left 4 Dead, you're probably going to like this. But I would wait till there's a sale. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.